I'm joined now by Victoria Johnson from Synergy Credit Union. And Victoria, we're going to be talking a little bit about heading into the new year, just what the best steps are financially, and heading into 2019, how do you get yourself on the right track?
I think that the biggest thing to remember to get yourself on track is to really just evaluate your own situation. Look at where you were at last year and see where you are now and where you want to be, and then put a plan in place.
And the holidays are just passed, and heading into 2019, that could be tough heading into fiscally for you. What if you did spend a little too much in the holidays?
Right. So likely most people have. And if you did, you've likely spent on credit cards possibly. I think the biggest thing to remember with credit card spending is to at least make sure you pay off that minimum balance every month. If you don't do that, there could be some consequences in terms of possibly creating a bad credit score. With a bad credit score, you may have trouble getting loans in the future. If you do get a loan, you may end up having a higher interest rate than you might normally have been able to get. So just being on top of what you need to pay off.
Now, we often hear the importance of budgeting, but what is the main focus of budgeting, and what's the main importance of budgeting as well?
So one of the biggest keys for your financial goals is to have a strict monthly budget. A budget is going to help you see the money that you have coming in and the money that you have going out, to be able to plan accordingly. It's important to not allow your spending habits to determine your budget, but rather for your budget should determine your spending habits.
Now, emergency funds, are very important coming through, just kind of a rainy day kind of fun, but how can you get those started, and why, I guess, are those so important?
Right, so an emergency fund is a very important thing. It is just that, it's for emergencies. So a rule of thumb is to have about 3 months worth of income in a fund or a savings account that's accessible. You want it to be accessible, so if you have loss of employment, you've got a pool of funds to draw from. If your furnace goes belly up, you've got a pool of funds to draw from. Instead of having to rely on your credit card and building up that debt, you've got these funds to count on. One way to get that pool of funds started would be to have monthly or bi-weekly contribution from your checking account set up to automatically move to this savings account. So you're building it up that way.
So running out of time a little bit here, but I just want to go back to budgeting. How can that help us in the future as well?
Sure. So it's going to help you keep on track. You're going to, well, hopefully you're going to stick to the plan that you've put in place according to your income. It's going to help you not overspend, and it just helps you keep everything in check.
Perfect. We'll have a little bit more coming up with Victoria here, but we'll have a little bit more primetime local news coming up.